Greetings, fellow lone wanderers. As you can see, we are at Vault 88. This is a new settlement build, quite large one, and I'm going to take you on a tour. So go ahead and grab yourself a Nuka-Cola, put your feet up, relax, and let's get into it. So, as you can see, we are here at Vault 88. With this settlement, I decided to build a beta site for the Institute. Now, with all their wisdom, all their technology, all their brilliance, you didn't think that they'd only have one location, did you? Well, they decided to take over Vault 88 since the hole was already dug and they can build it to whatever specifications they wanted, and just in case something happened, somebody like me came along and blew them up, now they have a beta site somewhere where they can start all over again. And this is where we are. We are at Vault 88. So the first thing I did is I went through as usual and I cleaned out everything, got rid of all the junk, and made it as nice and as clean as I possibly could. And let's go ahead and take a good look at everything. Right here at the main entrance, I decided to do blue lighting. Not sure why, but I did, because I thought it looked kind of cool. It initially started with the lighting being all down in here, and before I knew it, I ended up going kind of crazy with it and put the lights everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and close the door so you can get the full effect of what it looks like when it's all sealed up with all the blue lights around. But yeah, I don't know, I just kind of went nuts with the blue lights. Doesn't really serve any purpose, like I said, it's just purely for aesthetics. And who doesn't like seeing the animation of the vault closing up? This is actually really cool. I like this better than it was in Fallout 3, which was still good, but they definitely made it a lot better in Fallout 4. So as you can see, blue lighting everywhere, even all the way up into here. Just something I just did for the heck of it. So since this is the Institute beta site, we have Synths and Institute people running around here, scientists and everything. Here's a Gen 2 guy. I can't really interact with them. You can try to, and they just kind of stand there and ignore you, but whatever. They're really more for show than anything. Some basic defense out here in the front. This guy here is a guard. Got another one over there. And then over here we have our first security office. So let's go ahead and take a look in here. And again, another Gen 2 synth and a couple of guys. These people you actually can interact with. These are just settlers that I dressed up in Corsa uniforms and gave some kind of funky helmets. Those are the Marine wetsuit helmets, I believe. And we have fully stocked shelves. This again is a mod. As you can see, I can't take any of these weapons off. This is all for show, but I put them in here because they looked pretty neat. And just a whole bunch of shelves, some lockers. Again, this is all part of a mod that puts pre-filled shelves in your inventory so that you can basically build whatever, and it makes it look really, really neat. So let's continue on with our tour. Now, like I said, this is going to be a fairly long tour because this is a pretty big settlement. I went through and dug into tunnels to build long hallways, so on and so forth, and so got a lot of ground to cover. So in here, this room was already here existing. This is just a general reactor again. I just kind of threw in some blue lighting just for effect. If you've ever seen a nuclear reactor starting up and working, the light is actually blue, not green like you would expect to see in movies and cartoons and so on and so forth. The light is actually blue. So I decided to use that as kind of the effect. And so that's just the main backup generator, just in case the other generators that power the entire facility go down. They have something to at least keep the lights on. And so here is our main room. This is the big meeting area, connecting area. This is where we have all of our bedrooms, our offices, our labs, so on and so forth. Took a lot of time to really dig in and build this place. I redid the walkways probably about half a dozen times until I was finally satisfied with the way they looked and the way they all lined up to where I wanted them to go. I wanted to keep this as big and as open feeling as I possibly could to kind of mimic what the big giant main room of the actual institute looked like, and so that's kind of what I ended up with here. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of the rooms here. So in here we have a little mini science lab. These again are some of those fully stocked shelves. We have some Gen 2 synths that are powered down. These guys are for exploration, as well as these hazmat suits. We do not go outside that door for fear of radiation, but as you can see, it continues on into the tunnels. This is about as far this direction as I could build. I decided to throw these fog condensers in from Far Harbor just for the heck of it, because they look neat. So yeah, this is where they go out and they get soil samples and different samples of this and that to see where they can build and how far in they can go. And I decided to throw some trees in here to kind of, you know, make it look pretty, I guess you can say. There's also flowers and some random bushes, so on and so forth, and just again for some ambiance. A couple of dead bodies here, which I thought they would be gone by now, but we had an attack not too long ago, and as you can see, the gunner's lost. So, oh well, sucks to be them. General store. Of course, you have to have a general store stocked full of shelves with anything and everything you could possibly need, including miscellaneous, random, worthless junk. Books, full shelves of food, beverages, so on and so forth, all again from that same mod that provides the fully stocked shelves. So over here we have research. We have a lab here where they are researching, dissecting, and running all kinds of random experiments on super mutants. And again, just some more equipment. As for why these screens look the way they do, I'm not sure. They usually have that please stand by screen on them, but for some reason the mod kind of went a little wonky, and now I've got pinkish purplish screens. We got cells here so that they can capture people from the wastes and do experiments on them, basically. Up here we have plant experiments. Here's one of our scientists. They are growing and examining various plants in here. And here we are up on the second floor, and we're going to go back down to the first floor just to continue our little tour here. So here we have warning for excavation. Again, this is as far in as I could build here. Gets cut off and can continue on down the tunnel, and that's where they're doing some digging and excavating and planning to expand. Again, some more fog condensers there. And then we got another long hallway here, which we'll check out in a second. That's where we're going to be going. That leads way down into the depths of the entire place. Like I said, this is a pretty big build that goes in all kinds of different directions. So up here we have a room. Living quarters, I should say. Down in here, this is where Sean lives. This is his new room. Got some toys, some posters, basically all stuff a little kid might want. And then over in here, we have our main bathroom. Gotta stay clean, of course, and gotta have somewhere to do your duty. Kitchen dining room. Ignore that poop joke. Kitchen and dining room. No real explanation needed. Some more living quarters, basically living room, and a little kind of makeshift bedroom up in here. I went through and redesigned this whole thing probably about 3 or 4 times because I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with the space, and before I knew it, it ended up being a bedroom, basically. Alright, moving along. Over here towards the left, we have the new living quarters for the director, the new director of the Institute. You know, the original Sean is dead, and I was fired when I blew up the Institute, so now they've got a new person in here, and This is their living quarters. Got a little living room here. Display case that I forgot to display something with. This technically wasn't supposed to be here. I was using it to make stuff and just kind of forgot about it, so just ignore that. The director's desk with his view of a red light. There you go. It's the red light district. Hush, hush. Kitchen, again with the full shelves, kind of makeshift dining area as well. Up here, we have some display of the different generations of synths. You have Generation 1, Generation 2 almost complete, Generation 2, and the coursers, of course. Just for display, this person also really likes Nuka-Cola in all of its variants, so they have their own mixing machines. Little desk and computer, and basic bedroom. They also have their little flower pots. They like flowers, apparently. And their own little bar, complete with a blinking sign, and looks like they are quite the alcoholic. So display cases and a TV, and there you go. That's living quarters for the new director. Okay, moving along. Yes, bathroom, we already saw that. So now, over here, we'll go over to this room with the red lights. Not what you're thinking. This is Cryogenics. They are experimenting with cryogenics after they took the baby Sean out of the vault, and so they stole some pods and are experimenting with their own cryogenics. And over here we have an empty bedroom with Clem, apparently. I left this kind of barren because this is basically showing that they just got here, haven't finished setting everything up. That's also why I left some areas where I could have probably built some more, also a little open, just so it looks like you know, they just came here, just arrived, and they just started rebuilding. Here's sort of a security room with a view out into the tunnel so they can look first before sending anybody out. Got a map, so on and so forth, and some basic equipment. Again, it's kind of dark in here because they haven't really finished setting everything up. That's also what the crates are for over there. And we've got a floating terminal. Interesting. Okay, ignoring that, let's see what else we got. Over here we have the clinic. This is an actually fully functional clinic. This again is part of one of those display things where this is fully stocked, but this is kind of a dummy shelf. So in order to make it active, I have to put the little mat there, and there's supposed to be somebody in here, but you know, the NPCs are never where you put them. Waiting space, waiting area down there, and main doctor's room, patients, so on and so forth, surgery. But yeah, just a basic little clinic here. And moving along, let's see, I think we've actually gone and visited all the rooms in this place down here, so now we can go ahead and take the tour further down into the tunnels. So yeah, we've got this big... So, that was quite interesting. My game actually froze and crashed on me. That has never ever happened with a Bethesda game. Ever. Said no one. Anywho, yes, that was the tour of this giant room here. And we were about to move on down the hall to continue exploring. So yes, trees down in here, bushes. I didn't talk about this little area up here. It's nothing special, just kind of a little makeshift seating area, just for people to sit back and relax and enjoy nature, so to speak. So down this way we have our reactor, the hydroponics and exit zone, and storage. This is a very long winding hallway, and towards the end of the video I will show the outsides of all this so that everybody can understand why these hallways look the way they do, and so on and so forth. It actually turned out to be quite lucky the way everything lined up for me and my ability to create these hallways, and you'll see what I'm talking about at the end here. So let's go ahead and head down into this door and another hallway. So over here we have storage for armor, ammo, and weapons. We have some more Gen 1 and Gen 2 synths in storage, all powered down, waiting just in case we need them. Some fully stocked shelves, weapons, ammunition, so on and so forth. Even some mini nukes and some giant nukes. You never know when you might need to fight back and destroy something. So here's a good close-up look. Creepy. Gen 1 synth. Man, oh man. All right, moving along. So down this hallway leads to yet another room. Down in here we have the reactor and the exit zone. And then over here we have hydroponics. We're going to visit this one first. In here I have tons and tons of pink lighting. I did this to kind of simulate grow lights, because this is where they're growing all their plants down here. And so this is all UV lighting. UV lighting also helps kill any bacteria that might be present while they're trying to pull water up from the ground. So we got all of our well pumps, I guess you can say, all operating, digging. Decided to leave this exactly the way it is, building the walls up into the rock ceiling just because it looked really freaking cool. Looks like they, just dug a hole and put some walls up, and boom, there you go, went to work. So again, more food being grown down here, and we have a side exit door, which we put a warnings for radiation, because once you head up in here, you do get irradiated once you get near this. There you go. And I can build up into this area, but of course there's nothing that would fit, but that does continue on and on and on, and we're not going to go that way. We're going to continue on with stuff that I actually built. So again, hydroponics, we're growing food and harvesting water down in here. And now we'll go ahead and head towards the main reactor. And again, more long hallways. And like I said, at the end, I will show the outside of this so that you can see what exactly why these long hallways exist, and so on and so forth. And here we go. Here's the reactor room. So again, I went with blue lighting, as I was explaining with the other one. If you've ever seen nuclear reactors, the light that they put off is blue. And so we got our two reactors here going, and I did stick a whole bunch of blue lights on them just to make them really glow, but you can see one of them in there. Looked kind of funny with all the lights kind of sticking on the outside, so I kind of took away some of them. Up here, just some control panels monitoring everything. And these are just show. They're not actually powering everything in here. I have my little cheat fuse boxes that actually give off all the power that powers everything in this place. So now we're heading towards the exit zone, which is also an entrance zone, and you'll see why in a second. This is how they got out of here, or I should say got here. When the Institute Alpha site was about to blow up, they all teleported here, and this is where they arrived, at the teleporting platforms. And those that were fast enough to make it, that's how they got here to start up the beta site. And this is just basically the end. I could build up to right about here, and then you got that little green zone, because this is where it separates into the other part. And we just got some excavating going on down in here. So now that we're out here, let's see if I can squeeze through and show you. There we go. So this is my stairwell leading up into the reactor, and then this is the outside of the reactor room. Sorry, that was the exit zone there. This is the reactor that I'm standing on now. If you're wondering why I have turrets, when the gunners attacked, that's where they came from, that little hole right up there leading into one of the secret entrances to this place. So now continuing on, you can see here's why we have these long winding hallways, because we have these very narrow passageways, and there's not much I can really fit in here except for hallways, and so that's what I did, is I created all these hallways to connect to all these different rooms. And so this one splits off into hydroponics over here, and then this one just kind of continues on. And then this is our storage room. And then there's that long stairwell that was leading down. This basically just overshot the existing stairwells here, and so on and so forth. So now you can see why I have all these very long winding hallways to lead all over the place. And this is the outside now of the big main room. So this was quite an extensive build, and I lucked out, like I said, with the way everything kind of lined up, with being able to get these halls to go exactly where I need them to, especially going down this stairwell here. Don't know if that was planned by Bethesda, if you just happened to get everything lined up just right that it would work, or maybe it was just pure dumb luck. But either way, it worked out, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. And hopefully you enjoyed my little tour of the Institute beta site. If you got any questions, comments, trying to figure out how I did something, please go ahead, leave a comment, and I'll answer all of them. As you can see, our trees are sticking up through the roof there, and there's one of those makeshift cheap boxes I was talking about. Anywho, thanks again for watching, and don't get irradiated.